Hello everyone. Let us discuss the classification of sectors on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, sectors of Indian economy can be classified as the public sector and the private sector. The public sector is owned, controlled and managed by the government, whereas the private sector is owned, controlled and managed by individuals or group of individuals. The main motive of public sector is welfare of the people, whereas the main motive of private sector is to earn profit. Public sector provides basic services to the people such as the services of health, education, communication, etc. Whereas private sector provides basically consumer goods to the people. Some of the examples of public sector are railways, post office, police, army, etc. Whereas the examples of private sector are the Tisco, Bajaj, Airtel, etc. Now let us discuss the importance of public sector. The first importance of public sector is that public sector promotes rapid economic development. It means it helps in the development of the country. Second, it creates employment opportunities. Large employment is created by the public sectors for the people of the country. Number 3, it helps in balanced regional development. Balanced regional development means it helps in the development of the entire country. It helps in the development of the hilly areas. It helps in the development of the backward areas. It also helps in the development of the entire country. Number 4th point, it encourages the development of small scale industries, the medium industries and the cottage industries by providing various types of financial help, technological help. 5th point, it makes goods and services available at cheap price, at reasonable prices. Goods and services are available to the people. 6, it contributes to GDP, means it contributes in the HDI of the country. It contributes in the GDP of the country because it provides health and educational services. Now let us discuss the classification of sectors on the basis of employment conditions. On the basis of employment conditions, the sectors of the Indian economy can be classified as organized sector and unorganized sector. Organized sector is a sector which works under the guidelines of the government, and unorganized sector does not work under the guidelines of the government. Now we can compare these two sectors. In organized sector, regular terms and conditions of employment are there, whereas in an unorganized sector, irregular terms and conditions of employment is there. Point number 2, organized sector provides better wages to the workers working in it, whereas in an unorganized sector, workers they are getting poor wages. In an organized sector, worker has good working condition, whereas in an unorganized sector, worker is having poor working conditions. Worker has job security in an organized sector, whereas in organized sector, workers do not have job security. There is fixed working hours in an organized sector, means workers know how many hours they have to work, whereas in an unorganized sector, workers are having long working hours. In organized sector, worker gets different types of facilities such as the facilities of leave and medical facilities, whereas no such facilities are provided to the workers working in an unorganized sector. So there is a provision of overtime and paid holidays in an organized sector, whereas in an unorganized sector there is no provision of overtime and paid holidays. Now related to this topic, that is classification of sectors on the basis of employment condition as organized and unorganized, 3 important questions can be asked in the examination. The first question is, how can the workers in unorganized sector be protected? Second is, what are the disadvantages of working in an unorganized sector? Third, what are the advantages of working in an organized sector? All the answers to these questions you would be getting from the topic which we have discussed. What are the advantages of working in an organized sector? You will write about the features of organized sector. What are the disadvantages of working in an unorganized sector? You would be writing the features of unorganized sector. How can the workers in unorganized sectors be protected? You would be providing them facilities, means you would be writing about the disadvantages of unorganized sector and you would be writing the advantages of organized sector. Suppose, for example, point number 1, if you want to write to this question that how can the workers in unorganized sector be protected, you will write that in unorganized sector worker is not having not having better wages. Okay, worker is not having better wages, so what has to be done? Better wages has to be provided. Then you will write that in an organized sector worker do not have job security, so job security has to be provided. Okay, then you will write, suppose take an example of long working hours. You will write that workers have to work for a longer period of time. In an organized sector you will write that for their protection fixed working hours has to be there. Means whatever comparison you have done between the organized and unorganized sector, the answers will be coming up from these topics. Okay, the organized and the unorganized sector.